All right, back out here at my parents again. You know, of course, if you haven't seen the videos where I installed the 18K, still got to do all the solar panels. I got a few solar panels hooked up right now. I'll go ahead and show you that. And basically, I got 6 panels up here that I switched out on their pergola or whatever right here. And then I have a few that I sat on the ground while they're still waiting to get their landscaping stuff done. As you can see, got another 5 over here on the ground. And all this is kind of temporary because what we're going to do, we were talking about putting them on the roof up here, the solar panels. But instead what we're going to do is basically most of the side of this part of the house, we're going to build like a lean-to type of shelter. Going to put up like 6x6 posts. And I think it's going to be, I'd have to look at the measurements again, but maybe about 16 by 30 or something like that. And then we'll put the solar panels on top of that, and we're just going to build like a regular roof on it and everything, put a metal roof on it, and then put the panels on top of that, because that's what my parents wanted to do. Then they'll have plenty of area to put out next to their pool for people to relax in the shade and to be able to stay out of the weather if you want to come outside. So my dad already started some of this project, started putting down some of the plates and stuff like that for the 6x6s. I'm gonna go ahead and start finishing it off and start putting up the post. And probably be a couple of part series, because I'm sure it's going to take a little while to get all this done. And a lot of it I'm going to be doing it by myself, because once my dad started this stuff, then he had knee surgery, so he ain't going to be able to help me. So maybe I'll be able to get my kids to help me whenever they're not doing school or working. But I'm going to try to get this thing started on my own. So we're going to start out by showing you where the posts are going. So I already started on some of this. So over here in the corner, basically, you got these post holders. Basically, we just drilled a hole down in the concrete, put a bolt down in there, put the plate down, and then you put this other plate over the top, then you sit the 6x6 down there in it, and then you'll be able to screw it in. And these are the 6x6s we're going to be using. Going to put 10 footers in the back, 8 footers in the front, and then going to do some 16 footers in between them, on the front and the back. What we're trying to do is get this 18K, more solar on it, help bring their power bill down even more. And as you can see, we just got 1 battery right now, so the most help is going to be during the day with the solar panels. So we want to get as many as possible. So hopefully over the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to get this thing fully installed and get all their panels up and running. I think from what I figured, I should be able to get at least 18 panels up on this thing, and then we'll take the pergola and we're going to move it to another spot and probably still leave at least 6 on there. So that'll be most of the panels that they have. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And basically what I'm going to be using is the Simpson strong ties. So just a bracket like this comes in a package, and then you got to buy your screws separate and your accent hardware, that your screw's going to go in. That's kind of what it's going to look like on the outside there. All right, as you see, it's standing up on its own with just the 1 screw in. We'll go ahead and get the rest of them in. And I'm just going to make sure it's kind of rough level. And it's not that far off. It's a little past the edge on some of them, but we'll get all that leveled out once we get all the posts up and start putting the posts, the 6x6x16s in between them. That way we'll be able to level out. And we're going to put a post in between the front leg and the back leg here. That's kind of like just a level leg, just keep everything stable, besides the 2x10s or whatever we're going to do. And that'd be just to make it a little more sturdy from front to back, and just another stabilization point. And of course, anybody that's followed my channel knows my stuff don't go always as planned, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna have to cut the bolts to get some of these plates on. I'll go ahead and show you that. So of course, I tighten this thing down, and the bolt is now too high after I tighten it. So you try to put the plate on, of course, it's not gonna go all the way down. Gonna have that gap in there. So gonna have to cut the top of this bolt off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So you see how high that is off? That's how low the plate's gonna be. So that bolt just a little too high. Woo! It is hot today. All right, so I got 3 of the 6 posts in so far. I'm having to add some plates and tighten stuff down and try to make sure all the measurements are right and stuff like that. But it seems to be going pretty good. Now, when I say weird stuff always happens to me, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Now, I was taking this one over here on the back, leaned it against the side of the house before I go ahead and install it on this plate. And look what's happened. I don't even know if you can see, but there must be a nail or something up there. And it went all the way through the vinyl and into the piece of wood. Now I'm gonna have to hit it with a sledgehammer or something to get this 6x6 off. I mean, weird stuff. Anytime you start the job, weird stuff's gonna happen, especially with me. So let's go ahead and get this thing off of there. Might have to get the ladder. Oh my goodness, hilarious. Let's see if I can just twist it. Oh, okay, I was able to get it off. I twisted, using my brains. And it don't look like I messed up the vinyl. It's only at one spot. All right, let's see if we can get this thing where it's supposed to be. Oh. A little warm today. It's a little warm. Got 5 of the 6 posts in. 1 more to go. Gotta go ahead and put a plate on this one. All right, new SD card. Boom. That was a lot of work to get that up there by myself. All right, let's hammer this thing over. Basically what we're doing in the middle is 6x6 gonna meet this way, then it's gonna be like this. 6x6 gonna meet that way, other 6x6, then the post. So better go ahead and get this installed. All right, working on this patio shelter that we're building, or that I'm building, and gonna put the solar panels and stuff on. Basically what we got done so far, got all the posts up, got all the 6x6s across the front and the back. The front and the back on the sides here, got that done. And now I started mounting basically the 2x10s. I put all the brackets up, cut the notches out. Now sitting those up there and gonna be able to screw those things in. So basically I'm working on cutting out for the 4th one. So go ahead and get this thing started. Basically what I've been doing is I cut the first one out, laid the second one on top of it, copied the pattern that I made for the notch, put the one up that I had already cut, then cut the next one, then so forth, brought the other one around, copied that one, and I'll just keep copying, making sure I have the same notch in all of them, and then placing them all up there. And like with every job I do, every time I need a tool, you know, got a bunch of Makita tools, can't find my jigsaw, so I went and bought a cheap one at Walmart just so I have something to cut this stuff out with. Now I'll go ahead and bring the other one over and make it copy. Basically, I try to get them lined up as much as possible and trace it out. All right, now that I got it marked, I'm gonna move the one I already got cut up to the top. And now that I got the board up here, now what I do is just twist it up, get it started in the bracket, and then pull it into place where it drops down. So I got the front in place. Now the back is in place. I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. So as you might be able to see, need to pull it forward a little bit to get it to drop down. You'll be able to see this drop. There we go. Top's on. As you can see, get it to drop down on there. And it's notched in. So board ain't gonna go nowhere, especially once you get your hardware in place there. And it's in up there as well. And basically what I'm gonna keep doing that till I get all the way down to the end and put all my hardware and screws in, you know, after I make sure everything is lined up. So gotta keep working on it. And basically once I'm done with this whole series, what I'll do is do a video and do kind of like a cost breakdown and a complete parts list. I don't know if I'm gonna do the parts list on this video because this is probably gonna be part 1. Probably not gonna finish it in this one. And it's been taking a while due to weather and, you know, everything else, is life in general, other stuff going on. But we're gonna get this thing done hopefully soon so we can get these panels hooked up to the 18K. If you don't know where I'm at, I'm over here at my parents' house. I got 3 of the 6000 XPs at my house, putting an 18K over here at their house. I had a few panels hooked up. I basically moved those out of the way because they were temporary while I'm building this thing out. And basically got a pallet of the Hyundai bifacial panels. So we're gonna see how those things do. Basically gonna have 18 on top of this thing. You know, once we're done, gonna cover up the whole patio. They'll probably end up adding some concrete down here or some pavers or something, gonna extend the stuff out. They still hadn't decided on everything. This is just a, you know, figure it out as we do it kind of job, just trying to get these solar panels up. Basically got their pool slide right here, and they're gonna have this whole patio for people to sit under. Basically why to take advantage of the new pool here. And basically at this point, I got all my 2x10s up except for one. And I'm gonna put this one all the way at the end. All the other ones are basically 24 inches on center, except for the ones right on the end. Just kind of the way we worked it out. And so I'm gonna put this one all the way on the end and figure out the angles and go ahead and get the thing cut. I'm gonna sit it up there, mark them off, and I can go ahead and cut it where it needs to be cut so it'll lay pretty much flat. All right. Got it on one end. Nice. All right, let's see if I can flip this thing up this time without knocking it all the way off. And yes, we can. All right, let's put it through there enough where it don't fall. Definitely need to get closer to the house. Let's go ahead and move this thing a little bit. A little too much. It ain't got to be perfect because I am going to cut about 7 inches off the end of these. Put a string line in between both ends to get them off straight and to make sure our 16-foot worth of metal roofing is going to fit on there. Because this is 16-foot beams, so we want to cut them off a little bit so we have a little bit of overhang. If it looks close enough to me, go ahead and mark this thing off. That's the angle I need. Yeah, I just need to get it at the right height. So basically what I did is I take the post here, make me a line straight up and down so I can find the angle. Then I make me a line straight across for the top of this 6x6 so I can get that angle. And then I just take some measurements off the one next to it to figure out how long I need to make the cut at the front to verify it's like the same. So about 3 1/4. Yeah. So I'll go up about 3 1/4. So I can mark that. And I have to cut out probably a little more for this bolt. So I'll probably move it over a little bit, the whole cut. About that thick. So move it over right there. And of course I didn't throw my saw up here. And so I'm at the hammer nails in the bottom because I didn't have the 3 or 3 1/2, whatever these are, inch nails. I mean screws. So we had to use nails. I hate nailing stuff. I'm not a carpenter. See? Bam. One time I had the camera on. I take the one on the end here, cut about 7 inches off, and then the one down here at the other end, cut 7 inches off, run a string line, mark them, then cut them all even. That way the roofing panels have a little overhang and the wood is not sticking all the way out. So you know, you have a little bit of overhang to keep them out of the weather. The ends are pressure treated. The 2x10s on the ends, all the ones on the inside are just regular 2x10s, non-treated. All right, I got it. Got that first one marked. Time to cut it. All right, let's go do the one at the other end. All right, as you may be able to see, raining again. Over the last few weeks, we've had hail several times, crazy thunderstorms. I don't know if that's what you guys got going on in your area, but man, the weather has been crazy. I just want to get this job done. You know, I don't want to destroy all my tools, like using them out in the rain. I don't know if all these cordless drills and everything is waterproof. I doubt it. Plus, probably start lightning here in a minute. It's supposed to be a bad thunderstorm. But, hey, guess we're further along than we were. I'll show you what I did do. So, as you might be able to see, let's see here. It's got that one dry spot right here because I put a piece of OSB right above the inverter just for now, temporarily, just keep it out of the rain. Like somewhat even though it's waterproof. It's weatherproof or whatever, but as you can see, dry. That's my PV cables I just got laying there from when I disconnected it. But I'm gonna look on my phone. Maybe we'll give this thing a few minutes. If it looks like it's gonna pass over, which I doubt because there's a thunderstorm warning until 8 o'clock and it's only 5:59. I could have had about 2 more hours of somewhat light to get some work done. I probably could have got all those 2x10s cut and started maybe putting some more OSB up, but not gonna happen today, and I gotta work tomorrow. So maybe the next day before I go back to work, I can work for a couple hours maybe. But let's go ahead and show you inverter completely dry below it. So see down here where the water is, right there, all this is dry. Better than getting it completely soaked, I guess. That you can probably hear the rain dropping back there. So it's coming down pretty decent. Thunderstorms now, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, lightning. You saw the lightning right there. So sunset at 8:13, and it'll still be raining at 9 o'clock. So guess I'm gonna go ahead and pack it up for today. So I guess I'll go ahead and we'll just make this part 1 of the build, and part 2 we'll finish it all off, get all the solar panels hooked up, and then we can get into some real testing with the 18K, which I hadn't really been able to do because I hadn't had enough solar hooked up. And we're gonna see what this thing can do and do all kinds of tests that people have been wanting me to do. Basically flip the main grid power off. And right now, you know, when I had some solar hooked up, I had the 18K feeding back into the main panel, you know, not exporting to the grid, but just, you know, running loads that are in the main panel. And we wanna see if that'll keep doing it whenever you turn the power off. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna put some loads, of course, in the critical loads panel, the stuff they're gonna wanna run when the grid goes down. Of course, we only have the one Power Pro battery or whatever, so, you know, you're not gonna be running for long, but if you wanna run your fridge and your internet, you should be able to do that. And that's what I would do in a few lights. And if they wanna upgrade to be able to run their whole house, bottom line is they're gonna have to get more batteries. At a minimum, you know, I would want to have 45 kilowatts to kind of be able to do some of the bare minimum all night and not have to really worry about it. And if you want to run a mini split or some air conditioner or something, you can do that for a little while if it's super hot or super cold. But, you know, definitely want to be able to run your fridge and lights and not have to worry about them. But everybody that's been using the Lynx, hey, definitely appreciate it. You know, that's how I'm able to keep making stuff, keep making content. You know, you got to be able to buy stuff. I definitely have been spending more money than I'm making, and so I'm gonna have to cut that out at some point. But, you know, maybe at some point I'll be able to make this a full-time gig. That's my goal, at least. And do something you like, make enough money to survive, and be able to help people out. You know, maybe I'll be able to do more detailed content and detailed installation for people who are not as comfortable doing this kind of stuff. You know, I mean, that's what I did. I was learned by watching videos, and, you know, I did do electronics for years and years and years. So, I mean, I do have some knowledge of electrical stuff. You know, not a complete novice, but you had to know a little bit of electrical, and just kind of learned it over the years. You know, if you got a house and you got to do any kind of repairs or anything, you guys have learned a little electrical, a little plumbing, a little everything. But if you're still watching at this point, you're definitely one of my great subscribers, because it's probably been kind of a boring video so far because I wasn't doing a lot of talking because I was too busy trying to work. That's the thing about making these videos. If you're not doing it full time, you're always in a time crunch. You know, you got to take kids here, there, you know, you got to work, you got to do all that stuff, you know, just normal life. And trying to make these videos, just not as easy sometimes as it looks. Some YouTubers make it look easy, but, you know, me making videos, I understand, hey, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I definitely appreciate you watching. I got a couple of videos popping up right now that you may be interested in, so go ahead and check those out. Or if you want to watch the 18K install, go check that playlist out. I have that linked above. And thanks for watching.